Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about a book tag, which I personally call the mid-year milestone tag, but officially it's called the mid-year book freakout tag, and a lot of our booktubers are doing it, and this is one of those tags that I really enjoy doing it. It's a nice milestone to take a pause and look back. In this, I will be answering some questions from the tag. So without further ado, let's get into it. First question is best book you have read so far in 2023. Now, I have to pick something from this wonderful book series, fantasy series that I'm reading, which is kind of a read along on my channel, which I'm hosting, and every month we have insightful discussion with the wonderful author, and I'm talking about Wars of Light and Shadow by Janie Words. And if you ask me to pick one book from that series, it will be The Fugitive Prince. It's currently my favorite book in the series. I've made plenty of notes, and I enjoyed every bit of this book. For you guys who have not read Janie Words yet, go for it, guys. This is such an underrated series. Book lovers, fantasy lovers, give it a chance. Read at least 2 books, I would say, so that you will get the groove of Janie's writing and the whole rhythm of how this book is crafted. So that is Fugitive Prince by Janie Words. Best sequel that you have read so far: The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. This is book 3 of the Broken Earth trilogy. I just finished reading this the other week, and I loved this book so much. I have done a 5-minute review of this series, so go check it out to get an understanding of what this book is about. But why I love this book is because, you know, I was kind of skeptical while reading book 1 and book 2 of how all this is going to be resolved, because there are so many mysteries and, you know, magical mysteries in fact, and I was really worried how all this will be explained to us and how all this will be tied together to give us a satisfying ending with satisfying answers. All my answers and more were answered in this third and final book of the series. Again, this one is another underrated grimdark fantasy writer, N.K. Jemisin. I think she deserves more accolades. Come to think of it, are female authors much less recognized and celebrated? I don't know, because come on, I mean, these women like Janie Words and N.K. Jemisin, they are so brilliant and they have written such brilliant books. I do know that people talk about them, you know, people review their books, but I don't see passionate followership of these brilliant, amazing writers, you know. That saddens me. The next question is new release you haven't read but you want to. That would be The Way of Eden by Philip Chase. I do have the e-copy with me, Kindle copy. I'm planning to read it in July or August. I haven't, you know, decided what my TBR for those months will be, but I am definitely aiming for one of these months. I'm really looking forward to reading his book. I'm so excited and so hyped about it, especially considering the second book has just come out and people are really happy about that book as well. So yeah, Way of Eden will be my answer for that. Next question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and that would be The Labyrinth's Heart by M.A. Carrick. I really love this series. So this is book 3, or the concluding part of the Rook and Rose trilogy by M.A. Carrick. The first book is called The Mask of Mirrors, and the second book, The Liar's Knot. In fact, I'm currently reading The Liar's Knot. I am around 40% into the book. Boy, what an enjoyable read it is. I love this book. There is no one moment of boredom, quiet in this series. I mean, every moment is action-packed. Believe me when I say they are not small books, but still you will fly through them, and I am really making good progress through that book. So I'm looking forward to The Labyrinth's Heart, which is planned to be released in August. Question number 5, biggest disappointment in terms of the books that I read. You know that, guys, I love reading thrillers, murder mysteries, psychological thrillers, etc, etc, etc. I had told you earlier in another video that I discovered a new thriller author who is my new favorite, and that is Alex Lake. I read his book 7 Days, which I was floored by. Like, you know, I was like, oh my god, this is such an amazing book and I want more from him. That was not just a murder mystery or anything. It was more of a survival thriller, which is not my favorite genre, but oh my god, the way he wrote it and the way the narrated it on audiobook, so beautiful, so engaging. It was, I was engrossed in the book throughout. So I wanted to discover more from him. So the next book that I picked up from him was Killing Kate, and I was not that happy about it, kind of disappointed. I gave it 3 stars. So it was an okay read, but it did not reach the level of 7 Days. And in fact, currently I'm reading another book from Alex Lake, which is Sometimes I Lie, and I'm absolutely enjoying it. It's about a woman who is in coma, and you're listening to her thoughts while in coma, and also some flashbacks. So that is also, I'm truly enjoying it. I just started it yesterday. My biggest disappointment is Killing Kate, which I rated 3 stars. So that means overall I had good reads this year. I think I'm more picky and choosy about the books that I'm reading these days. So maybe that's why even the biggest disappointment is something that was an average read. Biggest surprise was this book called Seeds of War by João F. Silva. Now, this author, he reached out to me on Instagram Messenger, and asked me if I'm interested in reading his art copy. He sent it to me way back in December or January, and I couldn't get to it until like May or something. But and I regret not reading it immediately, but that's because of other engagements that I couldn't find enough time to read it before that. But when I got to it, I was hooked, and it was my first arc, mind you. So I went in totally non-judgmental, but at the same time I didn't have any expectations at all, because it was a debut author, and I was like, okay, I didn't want to be disappointed, but I went in with that mindset, and I came out like, oh my god, what a brilliant book. And I'm happy that a lot of people are noticing this book, and a lot of people are actually loving this book, and this book has been getting a lot of great reviews. So this was my biggest surprise, Seeds of War by João F. Silva. If you haven't read it, go and check it out. You will not be disappointed. This year's favorite new author. Now, I've already mentioned about it. It is the thriller author Alex Lake. I enjoy reading his books. I am still exploring more and more of his books. If you are a lover of thriller, you will definitely love this author. So check him out. Newest fictional crush. I don't know if I have any new crush this year, and maybe I have said this before last year as well, but my newest crush still remains to be Arithon from the Wars of Light and Shadow series by Janny Words. I love him. I'm in love with everything about him. His music, his temperament, his compassion, his empathy. Everything about that character is something that I really love. I'm hopelessly in love with Arithon. Sometimes I feel when I'm reading Wars of Light and Shadow, such a brilliant character Janny Words has concocted with her amazing, beautiful words. Question number 9, who is your newest favorite character? That will be Matt from Wheel of Time. I really started loving Matt from Dragon Reborn. I love humor. I love a person with a great sense of humor, and Matt has that. He is vulnerable, but at the same time he's there for his friends, even though he knows that he could get in trouble, even though he desperately wants to go back to his hometown, away from all this battles and wars and troubles. He wants to be away from all that, but still he's there for his friends, and I overall love Matt's character. Books that made you cry. Now, I will pick 7 Days for this, because I was listening to this book on audiobook, and generally, like I have said this umpteen times, I don't cry while I read book unless it's like really touching, if one of my favorite characters die or something like that. Usually I cry when I'm watching a movie or TV series or something, because it's accompanied by all this dramatization and visualization and the music, etc., right? So it's more impactful than me just sitting there reading the book and imagining. But 7 days, I was listening to the audiobook, and I remember I was washing dishes or something, and there was this moment in the book which was so. This woman is talking to her son, and they are basically locked up in a basement, like a dungeon. This is not a spoiler, right? And she has had the kid there, and oh, I'm already tearing up. I don't know if it's because I'm too sensitive, or its book is really that well written and so touching, because there is this one scene in the book where this lady is locked up in the basement in the dungeon for years, and that's not a spoiler, and she has had children while being there, and her kid has not seen the outside world at all. And these situations where the mother is trying to make sure that her kid plays and has enough exercise in this small room really touched me. So that was a touching book, emotional one for me. Well, that was embarrassing. Sorry. I have recovered. I'm okay. Now, question number 11 is book that made you happy. Now, that is this one. Legends and Latte. So in between all this heavy emotional drama and battle-filled fantasy series that I've been reading, this was such a pleasant surprise. Even though I just rated it 3 stars because I didn't love this book, it was just something very simple to read in between books. That's what I felt. It was an okay book, but it made me happy, and not worried about these characters, and tensed about what's going to happen to my favorite character. Is he going to die? That kind of tension that was not there while reading this book. So this book made me happy. Question number 12, the most beautiful book you have bought so far this year. So I have an amazing book to show you, and actually this was kind of a cover buy for me. I saw this book and the inside map and all that, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know if I'll read it or not, but I want this book because it's so pretty. And that is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi, and I have to show this off to you. So this is the front cover, this is the back cover. I will show you the inside flap also. That's S.A. Chakrabarti, or Shannon Chakrabarti, a brilliant writer. If you don't know, she is the author of the Devabad series trilogy. Naked cover is navy blue, and it has this nice gold writing on it of the book and the author. And then my favorite part is this. How pretty is that map? How colorful and beautiful. I love it when the map is pretty and beautiful. And this is the back cover, inside cover. I have heard great things about this book, a lot of great reviews as well. So I think this is a standalone, so I'm planning to get to this very soon, maybe in September. That's the plan. And once again, the last question is, what books do you want to read by the end of this year? So I definitely want to continue with my Wars of Light and Shadow series. I will continue that book. And also I'm doing a Wheel of Time read along, so I will continue with that as well. I want to finish the Rook and Rose trilogy by M.A. Garrick. I also want to start the Dresden Files series by Jim Butcher. If possible, I want to start the Witcher series. The book series has been sitting on my shelf for too long, like 3 years or something. I haven't even touched it. So I need to get to that. I want to read Jade City because I've been listening to so much about the Greenbone saga. I want to get to that. You know what? I haven't read many non-fiction books this year, so I want to read some light-hearted non-fiction book if I can. I want to read this one, which is Masala Lamp by Krish Ashok, The Science of Indian Cooking. I saw a couple of videos from him and interviews that he has given, and it was quite interesting. He is addressing many myths surrounding cooking, like, do not eat frozen refrigerated food, something very common in India, right? And that's what I'm mostly looking forward in this book. Another book that I want to read is Murder in Old Bombay. There's a book I saw on Instagram, and somebody had given a nice review. It's again a very cozy read. When I feel like I want to read something cozy, I want to read this. I really want to see how the 1800s, late 1800s Bombay is picturized as. So really looking forward to reading this book. And I also want to start off the Percy Jackson series. I love reading a good YA series. It's kind of again, like something that I call like a palate cleanser. And sometimes when I feel like I want to read something fun and lighthearted, then I go for something YA. And I know this is not exactly YA, it's maybe middle grade, right? So yeah, anyways, I want to start the Percy Jackson series. So those were the questions and those were my answers. I hope you like them. If you have a booktube channel, please do this, because I love watching these tags and would love to see your answers. And if you don't have a channel, do not fret, you can post your answers down below in the comments. So that's all for today. This is Angie signing off. I will see you soon in another video. Bye bye.